The biggest contributor, however, to depth is actually your disc openers. This is the first part and the most important. So you've heard this for the past, I don't know how many years, but the first thing to check is, are our opening discs big enough? So this one is about 14 5/8. I'm going to tell you that this disc is junk. So you're going to say, well, Clay, Precision Planting recommends that we change a John Deere disc at 14.5. And you'd be right. However, is this going to get you through the season? If you only put 30 row acres on a year into some, heavy conventional tilled ground or some light conventional tilled ground, this will probably get you by. But if you're doing 100 row acres into some heavy no-till ground with no colder, this is junk. This is not going to get you through a full year. So these are management decisions that we have to make right now that are going to affect our crop for this following year. This is just as important as your fertilizer, your fertilizer choices and your fertilizer inputs. I know that's something that's been heavy in a lot of our minds as of late, and this is really just as important. So I'm going to write on the board what we have as far as planter maintenance on disc openers. So John Deere and Kinze are 15 inches new, and at 14.5, they are junk. A Case 2000 is 14 new and 13.5. It has seen its usable life. So now a Case 1200 is 15 and 14.5. A White or an AGCO or a Precision Planting Ready Row unit is 6. This would be a 9000 series, is 16 inches new and 15.5. And a White 8000 is 15 new and 14 when it's seen its usable life. So we're really only dealing with a 1/2 inch of wear around that blade. So the question always comes up, whether it's a grower or a dealer, how many acres can I put on a set of disc openers? We can't give a recommendation on that. So every disc opener is going to wear differently in your scenario. So if you, like I said, if you're into a heavy no-till, with maybe some rocks or something, and you're going to have some bends in the blade or stuff like that at the end of the year, you probably need to look at replacing every year. If you're planting into cotton candy, basically, you're going to get a couple years out of them, but it's all about this measurement. There should never be an acre amount tied to this unless you have done research on your farm, seeing how long they last at your place. Then you can kind of tie some acres to it, but it all comes back to this measurement. So this could be every year for a lot of guys. I really encourage you to go out when we get done here, go out and pull one off the planter, see where it's at. Then you've got somewhere to go. You can either say, okay, I can put this one back on, I'm good. Or, hey, I need to go down to the dealership. I need to get some blades and put these on. So when you're replacing blades, there's, a couple different thicknesses of the blade that you can get. So we've got like a 3 millimeter blade. This is the thickness of the blade, and the dealer will tell you when you're buying these how thick they are. It's not like you have to go out and measure. It's a good idea too if you have something now and you're adjusting shimming, but when you're buying them new, not such a big deal. So we've got a 3 millimeter blade, a 3.5, and then there is a 4. So when you go to the dealership and you're buying new disc openers, and the parts guy says, hey, we've got these brand new heavy duty disc openers, you want a set? Ask him how thick they actually are, because a lot of times heavy duty just means thicker. And what can happen with something like a 4 millimeter disc is that it'll actually dull out quicker. So again, if you're planting into cotton candy, it's probably not such a big deal. But if you're in heavy no-till ground, you need the edge of that disc to be sharp so you can actually penetrate and get to depth. So be careful about heavy duty disc. You want to see how thick they actually are and make that decision when the time comes.